The Korean Mafia boss demanded my loyalty 3 times. But here's what Dane Hwang didn't understand when he walked into my restaurant and offered me a partnership. I wasn't just a black waitress serving tables. I was the woman who controlled every underground gambling operation in South Seattle. The woman who moved more money in a week than his entire organization moved in a month. So when the Korean Mafia boss demanded loyalty from the black waitress, I looked him in the eye and said the words that would start a war. I don't give loyalty, I earn it. And you haven't earned anything from me except the right to leave my restaurant before I have you removed. The first time he touched my empire, 3 of my businesses disappeared overnight. The second time, half my crew vanished. By the third time, I understood what he was doing. He wasn't trying to destroy me. He was erasing everything I had until loyalty to him was the only thing keeping me alive. That was 8 months ago. Now I'm standing in the ruins of everything I built, and the Korean Mafia boss who demanded my loyalty is offering to give it all back. For a price. Have you ever been so powerful you thought you were untouchable, only to watch someone systematically dismantle everything you built just to prove you need them? Drop a comment telling me, would you surrender your empire to survive? And hit subscribe, because what the Korean Mafia boss did to force my loyalty wasn't just business. It was psychological warfare disguised as romance, and I still don't know if I survived it, or if I just learned to call captivity partnership. My name is Khari Bennett, and I have one rule: I never beg. Not to clients, not to enemies, not to men who think power gives them the right to demand things from me. 8 months ago, I was untouchable. I ran South Seattle, not officially, but anyone who mattered knew. The gambling, the protection, the information network that made politicians sweat and businessmen pay. All mine. Built over 6 years from nothing. Now, I'm learning that power is just an illusion until someone more powerful decides to take it away. Table 6 needs more champagne, my manager Rochelle said. I grabbed the bottle, but I wasn't just serving drinks at Eclipse. I was building my empire one conversation at a time. The man at table 6 was a city councilman. The woman with him wasn't his wife, and the conversation they were having about rezoning contracts was worth about $2 million in insider information. Information I'd sell by morning. Anything else? I asked, pouring champagne with the smile I'd perfected years ago. No, thank you, the councilman said, barely looking at me. Perfect. Invisible help sees everything. I went to the bar, pulled out my phone, texted my lieutenant, Simone. Council rezoning South Harbour, Mitchell Construction inside bid. Position our people. 3 minutes, done. We own that contract by Monday. That's how my empire worked. Information, opportunity, execution. No begging, no pleading, just strategic dominance. I wasn't just a black waitress. I was the most powerful woman in South Seattle, and I'd earned every inch of it. Miss Bennett! The voice came from directly behind me, too close, deliberate. I turned. A man stood there, Korean, early 30s, suit that cost more than most people's cars, eyes that assessed you like a balance sheet. But it was his hands I noticed first, scarred knuckles, the kind you get from breaking faces, not shaking them. Do I know you? I asked, voice level. Never show interest, never show fear. No, but I know you, Khari Bennett, runs the South Seattle operation, gambling, information, protection. Very impressive for someone so young. My blood temperature dropped 10 degrees. I'm a waitress. During the day, he extended his hand. Dane Hwang, I run the north side. I think we should talk. I didn't shake his hand. I never shake hands with people who already know too much. We have nothing to talk about. I disagree. I'm expanding operations. Your territory is valuable. I'm offering partnership. You keep your operations. I get a percentage. We both profit. I don't do partnerships. Everyone does partnerships. It's just a question of terms. Then my terms are simple. No, I held his gaze. I don't need you, don't want you, don't owe you anything. Leave my restaurant. Something flickered in his eyes. Surprise, then respect. Then something darker that made the hair on my neck stand up. You're refusing me. I'm telling you reality. I built this alone. I don't share, especially not with men who think they can walk in and demand pieces of what I earned. He studied me for a long moment. The restaurant noise faded. It was just us, two predators sizing each other up. You're either very brave or very foolish, Mr. Bennett. I'm very powerful. There's a difference. He smiled, actually smiled, like I'd just given him exactly what he wanted. I respect you, Khari Bennett. Your authority, your power, your refusal to submit, but you should know something about me. What? I don't accept no, not from anyone. When someone refuses me, I don't get angry, I get strategic. He leaned closer. I'll ask you again in a month, and you'll say yes, because by then, saying yes will be your only option. I won't. You will, because I'm going to show you exactly what happens when you refuse loyalty to me, and once you understand, you'll beg to give me what I'm asking for now. I don't beg, I said, my signature line, my power. Everyone begs eventually, it's just a question of what they lose first. He left, and I stood there feeling like I'd just started a war I didn't fully understand. But wars I could handle. I'd fought my way to the top. One more fight didn't scare me. I should have been terrified. 2 weeks later I got the call at 3 a.m. Khari! Simone's voice, shaking. We've been hit! I was instantly awake. What happened? 3 houses, all raided simultaneously. Federal agents, police, everything. They knew exactly where to go, exactly when to hit. Someone gave them our entire operation. I dressed in the dark, drove to the first location. The scene was cinematic in the worst way. Red and blue lights painting the building. My people in handcuffs. Federal agents carrying boxes of evidence, my evidence, to trucks. I stood across the street and watched my empire bleed. My phone rang. Enjoying the show? Dane's voice, calm, almost sympathetic. You did this. I made a phone call. What law enforcement chose to do with that information is their business. You're declaring war. I'm demonstrating reality. You're powerful, Khari. I respect that genuinely. But I'm more powerful, and I can destroy what you built faster than you built it. Pause. So when I ask again, and I will, you'll understand that partnership isn't weakness. It's survival. He hung up. I stood there in the flashing lights, watching my businesses burn, and I felt something I hadn't felt in 6 years. Vulnerability. and I hated it. I rebuilt for 3 weeks, got 2 houses operational again. Then Simone pulled me aside. "Oh, we have a problem." "What now?" "Someone's watching you. Tall guy, Korean. Always 50 feet back. Professional tail." "Dane's people." "Probably. They're tracking your movements, learning your patterns like they're building a file." "Let them watch. I have nothing to hide." But that night, driving home, I saw him, black sedan, 3 cars back, following. I made 4 random turns. He stayed with me. I pulled over. He drove past. But I saw his face. One of Dane's lieutenants. They weren't just watching. They were hunting. And I was the prey. The war lasted 3 months, and I lost. Not all at once, piece by piece, like surgery. Week 4, my suppliers got arrested, all of them. Same day. Week 6, my protection network collapsed. Half my enforcers vanished. The other half started working for Dane. Week 8, my information sources dried up. People stopped talking to me, stopped returning calls. Every piece of my empire that I'd built, he dismantled it with surgical precision. "He's bought off 60% of your people," Simone reported. Her hands were shaking. She never shook. "The ones he can't buy, he's threatening with evidence. The ones he can't threaten, he's eliminating from the game." "How much have we lost?" "Revenue down 70%. We're bleeding money, Khari. We can't sustain this." I looked at the financial reports. Numbers that used to be 7 figures were barely 4. My empire was dying. And there was nothing I could do to stop it. "We have to end this," Simone said. "You have to talk to him." "I don't beg." "This isn't begging. This is negotiating from a position you still have. Wait another month and you'll have nothing left to negotiate with." She was right. But admitting that felt like swallowing glass. Be honest. Would you surrender your empire to survive? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you want to see how a powerful black woman who refused loyalty to a Korean mafia boss ended up forced to choose between pride and survival, hit subscribe. Because the war I'm about to lose will teach you that power is just an illusion until someone more powerful decides to take it away. Dane called exactly 3 months after the first raid. "I'd like to meet, discuss terms." "I'm not interested in your terms. Your operation is at 15% capacity. Your revenue is minimal. You're surviving on scraps, Khari. How much more can you afford?" I hated that he was right. "What do you want?" "Dinner, tomorrow, neutral location, just us." "Fine, but I choose the location." "Agreed, you're still powerful enough to demand that much. I respect it." We met at Meridian, high-end, private room. Dane was already there when I arrived. He stood when I entered, a show of respect that felt calculated. "You look tired," he observed. "War is exhausting." I sat without waiting for permission. Small power play. All I had left. "Yes, it is." He sat across from me, didn't break eye contact. "Let's skip the pleasantries. I want your loyalty." "I don't give loyalty." "Then I'll take partnership, alliance, whatever word makes you feel like you're not surrendering." "I'm not surrendering." "Aren't you?" He leaned forward. "I've destroyed 60% of your empire. I could destroy the rest tomorrow. 1 phone call. But I'm not. Do you know why? Because you want something. Because I respect you. His voice changed. Genuine. Oh, you're brilliant, Khari. Ruthless, strategic. Everything I look for in a partner. So I'm offering you a real deal. What kind of deal? You keep your operations, rebuild what I destroyed. I provide resources, protection, connections. In exchange, we coordinate, share territory, share intelligence, become stronger together. And my independence? Negotiable. You want operational control? Fine. You want final say on your territory? We can discuss terms, but the war ends. The destruction stops. It was tempting, infuriatingly tempting. What's the catch? You pledge loyalty to me, to us, complete loyalty, no side deals, no betrayals. You're mine. He caught himself. We're each other's, exclusively. That's not partnership, that's ownership. Call it what you want, but it's the offer. Take it and rebuild, refuse it and lose everything. Across the room I saw movement. One of his men watching the door, another by the window. Even in negotiation he controlled everything. I need time to think. 48 hours. After that I finish what I started. I went home that night and made it to the bathroom before I broke. Sat on the cold tile floor, back against the tub, hands shaking. For 6 years I'd been untouchable, powerful, in control. Now I was sitting on a bathroom floor at 2 a.m, trying to figure out how to surrender without calling it surrender. I built this, I whispered to the empty room. I built everything, from nothing, and he's taking it because I said no. The tears came then, hot, angry, humiliating. I never cried, never showed weakness. But here, alone, I let myself break. Because tomorrow I'd have to be strong again. Tomorrow I'd have to make the choice. Give loyalty to the man who destroyed me, or lose everything I'd spent 6 years building. I don't beg, I said out loud, my signature line, my power. But my voice cracked on the last word. And I knew I was about to break my own rule. I called Dane on day 2. I'll take your deal, with conditions. Silence, like he was savouring the victory. I'm listening. I keep operational control. You provide resources, but I make decisions. I rebuild my way. Agreed. Financial transparency, full disclosure of operations, enemies, risks. Agreed. And if this goes sideways, if you try to take more than we agreed, I walk. Fair. Pause. Anything else? This loyalty goes both ways. You protect me like family. You defend my interests like they're yours. You make enemies of my enemies. Long silence. Then, done. You have my loyalty, Khari Bennett. Completely. Do I have yours? I closed my eyes, felt the weight of it. Yes, you have my loyalty. Say it properly. I need to hear the words. My hand tightened on the phone. This was it, the moment I broke my own rule. I pledge loyalty to you, Dane Hwang, to this alliance. The words tasted like defeat. Good, welcome to the partnership. Contracts by tomorrow. We start rebuilding immediately. I hung up, and I sat there feeling like I'd just sold my soul. But at least I'd negotiated the price. The first month of our alliance was strange. Resources flooded in. Houses reopened, people returned, revenue stabilized. But I kept feeling it. Eyes on me, watching, assessing. You're paranoid, Simone said. Someone's always in the room when Dane and I meet. One of his people, observing. He's protecting the investment or monitoring the asset. We met weekly to coordinate, to strategize. But I noticed things. How he positioned himself between me and exits. How his phone was always face down during meetings, and how he smiled when I challenged him, like I was performing exactly as expected. "You're good at this," Dane observed during one meeting. "Better than I expected." "What did you expect?" "Excellence. You're exceeding it." "Is that a compliment or an assessment?" "Both," he smiled. "You're the best partner I've ever had." "Partners or people you destroyed until they said yes?" His smile didn't reach his eyes. "Both." Month 2, things shifted. We were reviewing territory maps in his office. Late, just us. I leaned over the desk to point at a location. He leaned in from the other side. Our hands touched on the map. For 3 seconds, neither of us moved. Then I pulled back, but the air had changed. "You're staring," I said, not looking at him. "I'm thinking." "About?" "How someone so ruthless can also be so—" He stopped. "So what?" "Fascinating. You're a walking contradiction, Khari. Powerful but vulnerable. Independent but here in my office pledging loyalty. Proud but pragmatic." I finally looked at him. "Is that why you wanted my loyalty? Because I'm fascinating?" "I wanted your loyalty because you're the only person who could be my equal." His voice dropped. "And equals are rare. Worth fighting for, worth destroying empires for. You destroyed my empire to make me your equal. I destroyed your empire to prove you needed me. There's a difference." The space between us felt electric, dangerous. "This is a bad idea," I said. "What is?" "Whatever this is becoming." "Probably." He didn't move back. "But when has that ever stopped powerful people?" "Would you trust someone who destroyed everything you built?" Drop your answer. And if you want to see what happens when power and attraction collide, hit subscribe. Because what comes next is complicated, dangerous, and might destroy us both. Month 4, a new player appeared. The meeting was supposed to be routine. Territory review, resource allocation. Instead, Dane showed up with a file. Dropped it on my desk, hard. "Takara Yamamoto, Japanese. Yakuza connected. Making moves on our docks." I opened the file, photos of a woman. Elegant, dangerous, standing in front of our warehouses. She's intercepting shipments, bribing officials, building an operation that directly targets us. "Us," I noted. "Not you. Us. We're partners, remember?" "Hard to forget when someone's attacking our operations." I studied the photos. "What do you want to do?" "Eliminate her." "Kill her." "Remove the problem, however necessary." I looked up at him. Really looked. Saw something in his eyes that I'd missed before. Instability, like the control was surface level. Like underneath was something violent, barely contained. "No." "What?" I said no. We negotiate first. Make her an offer. Show her partnership is more profitable than war. His jaw tightened, anger flashing. "That's what I offered you. You refused. And you destroyed me for it. Are you planning to do the same to her?" Silence, tension crackling. "The difference is you were worth the war. She's just noise." "Or maybe you're getting irrational about me and you don't want to admit it." He stood abruptly, walked to the window. "This isn't the time for this conversation. When is the time when you're ready to admit you're obsessed?" He turned, and for the first time I saw him unguarded. "I've been obsessed with you since you refused me, since you looked me in the eye and said no when everyone else in this city says yes, since you proved you were powerful enough that I couldn't just take what I wanted. I had to earn it." My breath caught. "You destroyed my empire because you were obsessed." "I destroyed your empire because it was the only way to get close to you." The war with Takara lasted 6 weeks, and it brought us dangerously close. The night we finally pushed her out of Seattle, we celebrated in his office. Wine, victory, relief. "We make a good team," Dane said. "We do." Silence. Then, "I need to tell you something." "What?" He set down his wine, looked at me with complete focus. "I didn't just want your loyalty for business reasons." "Then why?" "Because somewhere between destroying your empire and rebuilding it with you, I stopped seeing you as a target and started seeing you as everything. I should have left, should have maintained professional distance. Instead, I crossed the room. "This is a mistake," I said. "Probably. We should keep it professional." "We should!" Neither of us moved away. "Khari..." I kissed him. Hard. Years of tension and war and respect and hatred all mixed into one moment. And he kissed me back like he'd been waiting months for permission. Everything fell apart when I found the file. 3 months into our partnership, 3 months of rebuilding, of trust, of something that felt almost like love. I was in his office looking for contract documents. Found something else. A folder, hidden, labelled KB, Acquisition Strategy. My hands shook opening it. Inside, documents, photos, plans, all about me, dating back 2 years, before we ever met. Photos of me at my first gambling house, with my original crew building my empire. Research on my life, my weaknesses, my patterns. A detailed plan titled Neutralization and Acquisition. Khari Bennett. Step 1. Identify target's operation and assess value. Step 2. Make initial contact. Establish mutual awareness. Step 3. Force refusal to create justification for escalation. Step 4. Systematically dismantle operation while demonstrating superior power. Step 5. Offer partnership when target is vulnerable. Step 6. Secure loyalty through combination of restoration and leverage. Step 7. Develop personal relationship to ensure long-term commitment. Every step executed perfectly. I felt something inside me crack, not break, shatter. The Korean Mafia boss who demanded my loyalty hadn't just wanted a partner. He'd planned my destruction from the beginning. All of it, the refusal, the war, the alliance, the relationship. Engineered. "You found it." I spun around. Dane stood in the doorway. My voice came out hollow, dead. "You planned everything." "Yes." The respect, the partnership, the equality, all manipulation. No, the strategy was manipulation. What developed was real. How can I believe that when nothing else was real? He stepped closer. I stepped back. "Because strategy got you to the table, but it didn't make me fall for you. Didn't make me trust you with parts of myself I've never shown anyone. That was real. You engineered my loyalty." I engineered circumstances, but your actual loyalty, your trust, the way you challenged me, partnered with me, made me better, I couldn't engineer that. That was you choosing me every day despite everything. I felt tears burning, hated myself for it. You still lied. I strategized. There's a difference. Not to me. I left, drove home, made it inside before I broke completely. Sat on the same bathroom floor, same position, but this time was worse. Because this time I wasn't crying over lost power. I was crying over lost trust. He made me love him, I whispered to the dark. He engineered everything, made me feel powerful while controlling every move, made me think I was choosing when he was directing. The sobs came harder, uglier. I broke my own rule. I begged for partnership. And it was all a game. My phone buzzed. Dane calling. I ignored it. Called again. Ignored it. Then a text. I know you hate me, but you should know I didn't plan to fall for you. That was the one thing I couldn't control. I threw the phone across the room. Because even now, even knowing the truth, part of me wanted to believe him. And that made it so much worse. If someone engineered your entire life but swears the love was real, do you stay? Drop your answer. And if you want to see whether a powerful woman can forgive the manipulation that brought them together, subscribe now. Because what I decide next changes everything. 3 days later, Dane showed up at my apartment. I didn't let him in. We stood in the hallway. I need to explain. You planned everything. There's nothing to explain. I planned the strategy. I didn't plan falling for you, didn't plan trusting you, didn't plan wanting you more than the Empire. I don't believe you. He grabbed my wrist, not hard, desperate. Then don't believe my words. Believe my actions. Everything I've done since we partnered has proven my loyalty to you. I've protected you, defended you, made you stronger. That's not manipulation. I pulled my wrist free. It's manipulation with better execution. You're right. I destroyed your empire. Yes, I rebuilt it. But I did it to control you, to own your loyalty. His voice cracked. And somewhere in that process I fell for you, really fell. And that wasn't part of any plan. Prove it. How? Give me something you haven't given anyone. Something that makes you vulnerable to me the way you made me vulnerable to you. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he pulled out his phone, opened a file, handed it to me. Those are the locations of my primary operations. My safe houses, my money, everything. If you wanted to destroy me, you could. With that information, you could take everything. I looked at the phone, then at him. Why? Because you need proof, I trust you, that this isn't just strategy. So there it is, my entire empire, in your hands. Do with it what you want. I took 4 days to decide. 4 days of weighing everything. The manipulation, the partnership, the respect, the betrayal, the love. On day 5, I called him. We need to talk in person. We met at the same restaurant where we negotiated the alliance. I arrived first, ordered wine, waited. When he walked in, he looked different. Tired, worried, human. He sat across from me, didn't speak. I hate what you did, I said. The manipulation, the planning, the engineering of my entire destruction and reconstruction. It was cruel, strategic, brilliant, and unforgivable. I understand. But I also understand that what we built is real. The partnership works, the respect is genuine, and walking away to salvage my pride seems stupid. His eyes held hope he was trying to hide. So what are you saying? I'm staying, but the terms change. Complete transparency. No more games. You want something, you ask directly. Agreed. And my loyalty isn't unconditional. You broke my trust. You can rebuild it. But it takes time. And if you manipulate me again, I walk. Fair. Can you live with that? Because I'm not the vulnerable partner you can control. I'm your equal. I'll fight you, challenge you, make your life difficult. He smiled, actually smiled. Good. I wouldn't want you any other way. So we continue? If you're willing, I'm committed to earning your loyalty, the right way this time. I extended my hand across the table. Partners, equals, complicated. He shook it. Wouldn't have it any other way. 6 months later, we were stronger. The empire we built together was bigger than either of us alone. The trust was real, hard-won, genuine. I love you, Dane said one night. Just stated it, like a fact. I know. Do you love me? I thought about it, really thought. Ask me in a month. A month later. Do you love me? Yes, I love you, despite the manipulation, despite everything. I love who you are now, who we are, together. Even knowing how it started. Especially knowing, because it proves even the worst beginnings can become something real. We kissed, and for the first time in 8 months I felt like I'd chosen something freely. But that night I found another file. Phase 2. Permanent partnership. Inside, marriage documents, merger papers, corporate structures. With him as CEO and me as COO. Second in command. The Korean Mafia boss who demanded my loyalty wasn't done. He was planning to take my equality. Turn partnership into hierarchy. Make me second. In my own empire, I had 72 hours to decide. Fight another war. Walk away from everything. Or accept second place forever. Final question. The powerful woman who pledged loyalty rebuilt her empire as his equal. She forgave the manipulation, built something real. But now he's trying to make her subordinate. Does she fight, walk away, or out-manipulate the manipulator? Drop your prediction. And if you want part 2, subscribe now. Because what I decide determines whether I'm his equal or his employee. Whether this partnership survives or whether we destroy each other. And I genuinely don't know which war I'm willing to fight.